Hey guys, how we doing?
Good morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin,
Yeah, and our,
Periwinkle Featherington.
yeah, yeah, she's been very. She wants to be on camera today.
Right.
Anyways, this season of Mad Men has been very, very good, very dark as always.
It's tense. This is a
Yeah,
really tense season, and it not tense in a way that like big things are happening, but you can
yeah,
just kind of feel the black cloud hanging over everything
sure.
that it's going to.
Yeah, it's taken the ball from season five and just running with it.
Yeah, yeah. This is a really great follow up to season 5, which was a fantastic season.
Yeah, one of the best
Uh,
best seasons of TV I've ever seen.
right. The again we've mentioned it obviously before because I feel like it's a major theme of this season. The impending fall of Don Draper,
Yeah,
right, is
yeah,
is definitely coming. He's his between the affair that he's having, his difficulty in dealing healthily with his wife and her job. He has a bad day at work,
takes out her.
goes and immediately goes and takes it out on the two women that he's involved with
Yeah,
immediately
yeah.
because he can't do anything else.
And the thing is with Don is I just threw up the episode on YouTube of the Lane episode where Lane passes.
Right.
And there's moments where you're really feeling bad for Don. That moment where he's like, "We can't leave him there,"
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he has
Like
this like
his humanity was really much on
insane
display. Yeah.
amount of humanity, and like he can do the right thing, and he will do the right thing sometimes.
Right.
It's just that he cannot compartmentalize his emotions, and
He can't, can he?
yeah,
He is so guilty of when things aren't going well, taking it out on everybody else. He
and
cannot compartmentalize.
it's kind of funny because I think in the last episode we said like he needs to see somebody, and like somebody in the comments is like, "This is the '60s. He's not going to go see."
No,
Anybody,
yeah, exactly. No, nobody went to therapy at the time.
We've got
The
2024
stigma,
goggles on, obviously.
right? Yeah, for sure. That doesn't mean that's not what he needs.
Yeah,
He clearly needs clinical help.
yeah,
But yeah, he's definitely not going to. There's no way. He had a hard time with Betty doing it.
he
You
did.
know,
Yeah, yeah,
so there's no way he's going to because not only is therapy looked at as you know a sign of weakness
sure.
and it's kind of a pseudoscience, I feel like,
Mhm.
but it also is feminine, right?
And also,
And
like,
he's a man, and a man's definitely not going to go do it in this period.
I don't think it was the best back then because from what we saw
I'm sure,
when
right?
Betty went to it,
Right.
it seemed pretty toxic.
Well, the guy that she went to for her personal counseling was, but the woman, the counselor her daughter was seeing was
Yeah,
great.
Sally's is amazing. She was
Right.
actually giving Betty some therapy, like
Right. I mean,
sneakily,
it's a science, and
Sure.
science improves over time, and I'm sure the quality was much different. But I don't know. I feel like Betty got some benefit even with that guy,
Yeah,
just by having somebody to unload it to.
sure.
She was able to work through some of her stuff just by getting it off her chest.
Venting does help a
Right.
lot.
Absolutely.
And Don doesn't talk about things.
And Don can't and won't vent.
He will talk to he'll talk to Megan about certain things, obviously,
Right.
but obviously there's a lot of secrecy still there.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to her about a lot.
No,
Unless it's something self-serving. Don, you're in a bad mood. Well, this bad thing happened at work.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's to help him out in the moment.
Mhm.
It's not really like to unburden himself. He doesn't really seem to do that.
Well, one of the big surprises of season five was the fact that he actually told her about his real identity.
Right. Yeah.
That's
That
a big
was.
step. And then we thought that it was going to be for the better. Not the case, man. He is just backsliding. He is
Oh,
going
mhm.
downhill fast.
Sure. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
as compelling as it is to watch, it is tragic.
Yeah. He's. I feel like that some of the cracks that are showing are because of Lane,
Mhm.
right? And
Well, Lane, Adam, and
but yeah, that was it, right? When Adam starts creeping back, when he's actually starting to feel guilt,
yeah,
and it's kind of compounding that's where a lot of these cracks are coming. And he did what he always does. He got back into women and alcohol to kind of like self medicate,
yeah,
and it isn't working for him the way that it used to.
no,
He's getting more self destructive. He's drinking more. He's involved with a woman who is family, was a family friend. He's it's almost like you hear those stories of like it's the getting away with it that people can't live with.
yeah.
So he wants to get caught. He wants it to fall apart
It-
because him getting away with being him for so long is part of the problem.
and
I
they
think.
both know that it's bad.
Yeah.
She even said she was like, "I just feel bad about this whole thing,"
Yeah.
And she wants him to have peace, which is kind of funny considering that she's still going through with everything. But they're
They're in different places though. I don't think that they're having an affair for the same reason.
yeah. I want to know like what's her deal.
Exactly.
You know what I
Her
mean?
like I think for her it might just be purely a physical. I think she loves her husband way more than Dawn cares about Megan.
Sure, because
Um,
we haven't seen the scene of her and her husband fighting. They haven't really
right.
shown that, you know.
Sure.
But
And
but clearly,
there's something there,
she's
right?
troubled for sure.
Right. It's just something that we don't get shown on the show.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that, I mean, let's face it, they're rich, they're shallow, and Dawn is substantially better looking than her husband.
Yeah.
And it might be that simple, right?
Is it boredom? Like, what?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I mean, really, she's a stay-at-home wife with a rich, successful husband, and this neighbor who is,
incredibly hot.
yeah, very attractive, very desirable, very successful, and interested in her. It might just be that simple, you
Yeah,
know.
it could be.
I don't know. Maybe I hope we get more of her going forward.
Me too.
All right, we do want to go ahead and welcome RJ Timo, Mac, Paige, and Michael Berkmeyer to our Patreon group. Thanks so much, guys. We're really, really happy you're here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the new content we've coming your way.
Yeah, if you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show we're watching, including Mad Men, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. So if you get done with this episode on YouTube and want to keep going, that's the place to do it. You're going to have to sync and watch along on your own streaming service. You're only going to see and hear us because of copyright purposes.
Yeah.
All right. For those of you back with us on Patreon, welcome back, guys. We're going to go and start episode 5. Man, we are just cranking right through
We
the
really
show.
are. I love it.
In 3, 2, 1.
And who needs Central Park when you can smell the ocean and the Hungarian bakeries? Believe me, when they finish the 2nd Avenue subway, this apartment...
I don't think we're done with the fact that she screwed over Sterling Cooper.
No.
You know what I mean? She does her move, which I really think is detestable. And now she's getting the rewards from it.
Yeah.
You know?
And this show's all about continuity. The
Yeah.
choices they make, they always come back and bite them.
Yeah, that's true.
What Abe means is
I'm more her trusted advisor.
an interested party.
They're not married,
Yeah.
is what she's saying. Yeah.
I'm going to flush that toilet again.
Is it too far east?
It's a nice place.
I just don't think he's the kind of guy to be comfortable in any type of
I
upset
don't either.
situation, you know?
Them together still...
It's still weird.
It's still bewildering to me.
Yeah, I feel like, but her own fall apart relationship is coming for sure, too.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby, no.
Discovering wallpaper.
Mom, this fell off.
Yeah. Oh, Bobby. Oh.
Bobby, Sally, let's go.
You know, this is a kid who's experienced in hiding things that he breaks.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast thinking there.
We don't really get a lot of Bobby, so
No.
the fact that he's getting older and more curious, it's
Look at
interesting
you
to
two.
see.
Heading to the track?
See, you see the look there? They are not being subtle.
It's so obvious.
Maybe tomorrow you'll be calling the producers and asking for a raise.
No, it's for advertising.
The ad club of New York.
Paul Newman's coming.
Oh, cool.
Please show a Paul Newman
I would
actor.
love that. He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah.
I think everybody's favorite actor is Paul Newman.
You too.
You kids out there, is Paul Newman still hip? Is he still...
The answer is yes.
Look, miss, whatever he told you we're interested in, we're not.
See how funny he is?
Is he setting him up?
Now that you're home from a busy day on Medicine Avenue, I think you should go out and have some dinner.
What?
Nice.
Maybe we should do this another time.
Nonsense. There's no time like the present.
He's just so awkward when it comes to this,
He is.
though.
What's the difference? Look at her. I'm obviously doing you a disservice.
Yeah.
Pretty girl, go take a shower. You got
Yeah.
this, man.
It's like, give me 10 minutes to clean up.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Peggy back there. We should go say hello. You can't avoid her forever.
I'm not. Tell her that no matter what, her laxative radio spot is the sentimental favorite.
I'd be a little sore with Peggy still, too,
I would
after
be
that.
too,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be dying to go say hi.
No.
Jim Cutler, he's the president of CGC. This is Megan Draper. She's also a finalist.
You must be Don's wife. When I started out, they didn't make copywriters like you.
Isn't it Perry Hamlin?
Is it?
It looks like him. From Clash of the Titans?
Yeah. The OG class.
Yeah, yeah.
I should get back. I have to walk all the way down to the front.
Yeah, that's for sure him.
These are the worst seats in the room.
Don Draper.
Yes, someone else said it. Two jokes say that.
Randy here's an insurance and he wants to come in for an official visit.
We've had this meeting already, too, and it went well.
So where's our check?
That was awkward.
It was awkward. I do recognize that actor, but I can't play
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I'd worry about it.
Yeah, that was weird.
I told you, Nan. Peggy's the only one competing.
Well, I don't know what else to say.
So they have a crap marriage too.
Yeah.
It must come with the territory.
Yeah.
Hey, man, sorry.
Oh, I'm in your seat. Nan,
Yes.
you wanted to see Paul Newman. Here he is.
That was awkward
It was very awkward.
and flirtatious.
It was a little flirtatious, wasn't it?
I think so.
That's probably why she's
Right. Trying to like,
Yeah.
hey,
yeah, and he looks back at her. Maybe Ted does have the hots for Peggy.
I think he does.
She's not.
She wasn't looking away. Yeah.
You don't know where I live.
Well, it's kind of early to find out, isn't it?
Oh, he is not good at this.
I'm sure my father told you what a Lothario I am, but I'm not. I'm very anxious about it. I've never had sex, not even once.
Wow.
Oh, Ginsburg. Straight shooter, though.
Yeah. She is quite lovely.
She is.
Tonight will not be the night. And I saw a picture of you, and honestly, you're very handsome.
Oh, he's a good-looking guy.
He is.
You must have heard that before.
You make a lot of money teaching?
No.
Yeah.
Paul Newman. We're gonna see Paul Newman? Come on.
Show us an actor.
They might do it from a distance.
Looks like it.
I'm Paul Newman. The Advertising Club of New York has been kind enough to let me say it.
It's the joke that Sarah's so far away from the stage.
Oh, wow.
What happened?
Martin Luther King is dead.
Oh, is that tonight?
As it stands, let's take 10 minutes to talk out this terrible event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What a crap way to find out, too.
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
I kind of forgot that they do address real life events like that.
Yeah.
Was that 68, right?
68 or 69. Yeah, I think.
68. I think.
Go.
Here.
But who has time?
I remember the JFK episode was one of the best episodes of the show.
Every time you walk by.
Yeah, April 4th, 68.
They're about to find out.
You don't have to go.
Betty, they're gonna burn down the city.
There's going to be riots. Were there riots? I never heard that part of it.
Please be careful.
I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
I do.
And call me.
I mean, there were obviously riots at the time, Watts and everything,
Sure.
but I'm not sure about, like, New York after this.
Sure.
Do you know who?
Come on, they didn't catch him yet, but you know who.
Yeah. And he's right.
Yeah.
Don't do anything stupid.
Hey, it's too late. I'm going to Harlem in a tuxedo.
Yeah.
I can't believe this.
You just...
Wouldn't you feel so weird being at this event in these clothes with that going on?
Yeah. It really makes you realize what's important, you know?
Peeled off! Why are you destroying this house?
I didn't do anything.
Kids lie.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. It will get worse if he continues to do it. But
Yeah. You know what? I like the fact that her reaction wasn't what it would have been a couple of years ago. Wait till
in the closet.
Wait till Henry gets home to beat you. Yeah.
I don't want you to be worried.
Blew it, Pete.
Yeah. He went home and called the one person that he's been destroying. Yeah.
The latest report of trouble comes from Washington, D.C., where stores along a 6-block area were broken into late this evening.
He's worried about his girlfriend, isn't he?
Je suis pas d'accord avec toi. Je sais pas pourquoi tu dirais ça en ce moment.
I don't know. Her dad's being gross.
Sick of that Marxist.
So far, it's only Lou.
They are living with a lot of privilege here, right?
They are.
They're only seeing it on TV.
He doesn't want to feel any emotions.
Let's watch inside.
Well, your new dad might be Roger Sterling.
Yeah. Papa Roger.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Megan won. Megan won the award.
Yeah, I love the fact that it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the awards don't mean anything anyways, but still, like, it's terrible.
I'll have Caroline remind you since you're on your own.
Did you get the door?
When did Bobby get shot? Was that after?
It was after this, yeah. Terribly far after
I think it's from. I remember it being around the same time.
Abe said it could have been a lot worse.
So
That's a dumb thing to say.
So yeah. I like the effort, but there's not a lot you can say. Did you think about the fact that she was just like shopping for a very expensive apartment the day before?
Yeah.
It's shameful.
Right.
It's a shameful, shameful day.
Why is Pete so right about so many things and so wrong about others?
Yeah. Pete, go off, Pete. Do it.
Of a bona fide racist.
That's the latest thing, isn't it?
God.
Everybody's a racist!
That sounds like Twitter.
It does.
Yeah.
Man had a wife and 4 children.
Hell yeah, Pete.
Pete projecting though too.
Sure. One of the only times I'm on his side though.
Right. No, he's not wrong, but
It's a shameful day.
it's also not Pete being a great guy, really.
No, you go.
I'd really rather be here today.
Let her stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good. She wants to be at work. People deal with things differently, and
They do.
sometimes it's like routine helps. Regular routine helps
time.
some people.
People say they care. I really care.
This is so awkward.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you, Randall.
When I close my eyes, our name and a Molotov cocktail, and then a coupon at the bottom.
The ad sales guy didn't like that?
This is a coded message that came to me when I was visited by the spirit of Dr. King last night.
Oh no.
He's crazy.
Should question the whole property thing, man.
Stan.
You're allowing the emotions of the day and whatever else you've got in your system to influence your judgment.
Right, yeah. Stan's gonna lose it.
His reaction is killing me.
Going to get the kids.
I don't think it's a good idea. I really don't.
Yeah.
She's a piece of work.
Looting spread to the downtown shopping section of the city, and as darkness...
She's still on the girlfriend thing.
That would make me
They're
so
married,
mad, too.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not safe. It's not safe.
Well, it's also something that's potentially horrific for the kids to see.
Yeah.
Even if it is safe.
It's at the bottom right there, huh?
Yep.
Something about smoking in bed just kind of cracks me up. You know what I mean? Like he's got the ashtray right there.
Seems dangerous to me.
It's like next level smoker.
Yeah.
I just can't sit around in the apartment anymore. I feel like I have to do something.
I understand.
I knew you wouldn't go.
Thanks, Sally.
I'm not allowed to watch TV for a week.
Man has no understanding.
So it takes him to a movie. Nice.
Simple tricks, nothing more.
Nice.
I'm afraid.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
You blew it up!
Interesting choice for this episode.
You! God damn you!
The city, the riots are happening. They're watching
Planet of the Apes.
they're watching for the end of the world. Yeah.
I feel like there's a race allegory too in Planet of the Apes.
Probably, yeah.
This blew Bobby's mind. Yeah, even Don's like, wow, what an ending.
So he came back to here.
In the future.
Jesus.
That was everybody's reaction.
Yeah.
Don't you care where we live?
Look, I don't feel right expressing an opinion.
Now is your chance.
I don't want to live on the Upper East Side.
Yeah, he never wanted that for sure.
It's more run down. That's why it's so cheap. To get some lumber, coat of paint, people are doing it.
It was not Peggy, though.
She's gonna leave him.
Or either that, or she's gonna have a great idea to go buy a bad apartment
How much of a say do I have?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Peggy, I gotta finish this.
Do you think the apartment's going to be the wedge between them finally?
Yeah. I can't really read Abe in this. She's like, "You're having the time of your life." I mean, he's a pretty socially conscious guy.
Right.
They are watching it again. It's awesome. You can just stay put and all start again.
Right, they just sweep right under your feet for you.
Did you see this movie? Do you get to see it for free?
You enjoy yourself.
Everybody likes to go to the movies when they're sad.
It's a sweet kid. He's right.
Yeah.
Do you want to run?
Run. It's a Republican seat. It's basically unopposed. I can't wait for people to meet you.
Are we just getting a lot of opportunism from everybody after this?
way.
You know, or at least a lot of, not everybody obviously, but a lot of the characters, like
For the most part.
yeah, from Peggy, from them.
I do. You don't have marks, you've got a bottle.
Yeah.
She finally called him out on it.
Yeah.
I only ever wanted to be the man who loves children. But from the moment they're born, but you don't feel anything.
It's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's
Makes you wonder if your own father had the same problem.
I mean, his dad, for sure.
Yeah. It's breaking my heart.
Yeah.
And one day they get older, and you see them do something. You feel that feeling you were pretending to have.
He probably really got to him there, didn't he?
He did. Oh. Yeah, I'm with you, Megan. We all want to give Donna a hug sometimes. Okay, that makes sense. That's why that's why her face sunk. It's because he's like, I want people to see you.
Right.
God forbid your body's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, you're getting it right. Well, it's one of those things. Remember, she used to talk about how she had the two kids and snapped back so fast,
She did,
you know?
Time catches up with all of us.
And she's probably happier and under a lot less pressure being married to Henry than being married to Dawn.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, when she was married to Don, she was just smoking and staying up all night waiting on him.
That's right. Getting dragged to dinners to look beautiful. Yeah.
I can't.
Think about New York blowing up.
Right. I mean, it was a horror movie at the time, wasn't it?
I'm sure for some children. you know.
Right.
Rod Serling wrote it, so the Twilight Zone connection.
No one's gonna do that,
But they could.
but they won't. Henry's not that important.
He's like, yeah, you're right.
Go to sleep.
That's gotta hit Dawn a little bit. It's like, oh, what are you scared about, son? That I just discovered that I loved. What about my stepdad? Oh, thanks.
Son that I just discovered that I love.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah, look at him up above it, away from it.
Yeah.
That's been the whole episode.
Yeah. Up in his high rise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That episode flew by.
It did, didn't it?
I love it when we get a good episode. It just like it feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that felt quick.
Yeah, one of the best episodes of the series so far, in my opinion.
It was a nice reminder. It's like, but in case you ever forget while you're watching, this is who these people are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what this was like, a State of the Union for every character.
Yeah. For as like, I hate to use the term woke because that's just like what we use now, but like for as like woke as everybody on the show is, they're still so fake and phony about certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Pete was the only one that was like genuinely upset.
Yeah.
Right. Like, think about the actual situation. Don't just think about the ratings, the clients we're going to lose to Harry. You know, even the Betty Henry situation, it just kind of felt gross.
No, it's gross. Everything was kind of gross across the board. There were characters who were genuinely moved, and then you had, you know, one of the two secretaries were probably the greatest indicators because they're feeling, you know, the emotions of the moment, And then you have the very privileged cast of the show that's like awkward with like, well, how do I handle the fact that this is impacting you, but it's not really
Because they're not
impacting me?
real people. You know what I mean? Like they're not.
Well, they're in a different class.
They're obviously like real people. They're just like they're not like us. You know what I mean? They're not. They're not. They're so removed from real life.
But well, yeah, yeah. I mean,
they have their own struggles and hopes and wants, but it's just different than
they're
the average American.
They're all very privileged.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of what we're looking at, right?
Yeah,
we start off with Peggy shopping for an apartment, and then the big tragedy for Peggy at the end is not the actual tragedy.
Yeah.
It's that I didn't get the apartment.
Yeah.
Right. For Henry, it's this is a great opportunity for me now.
Yeah.
To move up after this, you know, and you know the ambition kind of lights up in Betty's eyes over the whole thing, and Don is more concerned really with his relationship with his kids than anything. Harry is kind of the one honest voice of how scummy it all is. Right.
Yeah.
Let's look at how this is impacting our work right now, and nothing else. Which obviously he deserved to be yelled at for that, but
he did.
But he's only expressing what every other character, with a few exceptions, is feeling.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this thing happened. Yeah, it's a tragedy, but do I really care? You know, and I feel like Megan genuinely seemed to be upset.
Yeah.
Abe, I think, was kind of, although
it's weird to read that one. He also opportunistic.
Yeah, because Peggy called
a great story.
Peggy called him. Yeah, Peggy called him out on it. She's like, by the way, you're loving this, so let's ease up on your outrage. You're having the time of your life right now.
Yeah, Pete was the only one this episode where I was like, thank you, Pete. Yeah, it's
and
a
Megan.
Shameful day.
Right,
but he called it for what it was. Yeah, Megan too. Obviously,
right. She was
great.
Yeah, she was legitimately upset.
Yeah. But it was a shameful day. It is. Yeah. It's an awful day in our history.
Right.
It's crazy that here we are 60 years later, and this is still just so crazy.
Right. But in the context of the show, I do think it was generally sticking to let's see who everybody really is for a minute.
Betty's big takeaway was, oh, my vanity, because like she's looking at herself in
right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's like, come on, everybody.
But I mean, yeah, it's Betty being Betty again, but she was no worse than 90% of 90% of the people. Roger was like, he was a good talker, and now he's dead. How about that? Well, we know Roger's had some real racial issues. We know Bert has as well. But you just get a reminder of like fundamentally in this situation
who they are
socially, right? In the hierarchy of America, in the aristocracy, right? And in the class structure that is America, who are these people really? Yeah. And we got real looks at kind of everybody. Abe was upset about the shooting right up until it became a big opportunity for him. Yeah. It's like, okay, bro,
It's an emotional story.
Yeah, it's a really emotional story. Oh, you're loving it. Eat your sandwich and make your deadline.
Yeah. This show is, you could have just called the show the 60s, because it really is about like, where it's a real turning point in our history, right?
This show really is about the change of America from post World War II going into I'm assuming the 70s.
Well, it makes sense as to how glib the 70s really is. You know what I mean? How dark and depressing it really
right
was.
When the counterculture really emerges and everything. Yeah,
in the 60s,
right?
Truly, the 70s was you can't win. And I think his death and then Bobby's death.
Vietnam, Watergate,
it's just loss after loss after
right,
loss.
Yeah, for sure.
And the show,
Helter Skelter,
the show ending around that time,
right,
is like interesting because we talked about how it's about the fall of Don,
right.
We felt like as an empire we were falling in the 60s. You know what I mean? Like it's such an interesting dynamic to have it juxtaposed with actual American history.
Right.
They're not faking anything. They're not doing the Tarantino revisionist history.
Right.
It's real life, and like these people like who have everything seem to be, I don't know if losing it all is the correct term, but definitely losing more of their self.
Oh yeah, there's a definite lack of humanity among these people, and it seems like the more successful they become, the less humanity they have.
Yeah.
Which doesn't say great things about capitalism.
And here's the thing. We talked about this at the beginning of the episode about how you think we both kind of think that maybe season 7 might be like the redemption arc for Don.
I think so. I think we're getting there.
I'm kind of thinking maybe it's not. Maybe the show does end really dark to where it's he's worse off. You know, I mean, it'd be a really dark ending for the show, and it'd be tough to land that plane. But maybe I don't know.
Oh, no, Don can like professionally or what personally be in a really dark, bad place.
Yeah.
Like I said, he could be in prison in a military prison somewhere, but. I think regardless, there's going to be some type of catharsis for Don. I think at some point, there's going to have to be some acceptance of who
and maybe
he is.
it does take that type of consequence.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He may be broke, or whatever. I definitely don't think he's going to be married. His kids may never want to speak to him again. Who knows how all this blows up for him? I don't think we're anywhere near where that point happening yet. But I think that there's got to be for the show to work. That there's got to be some type of catharsis for him because Don is is the center of the show and is a show right about the changing of the country at the time.
Sure.
And there is a reemergence. You're right. The 70s are dark, but they are a reaction to the crap that was the 50s and 60s.
And it could be like the Michael Corleone, Kendall Roy ending where you're just alone. You're completely isolated. You know what I mean? Like that's. I don't know. It just kind of seems like it's heading that direction. But what do we know about the show? The show constantly subverts expectations.
Sure.
And it could be completely different. Who knows?
Right.
You could have it all.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see what it's going to look like when what rock bottom is going to look like for Don.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be Megan walking out the door, but I want to kind of see what his initial life is with that. I mean, like we may get a point where Megan finds out he's cheating, finds out she can't stand it, leaves, doesn't realize that she never really knew who he was, and he just crawls into a bottle for real. Yeah.
I honestly did think that after season 5 she'd be gone, but I'm glad she's still here because we do get great moments with her.
We do.
That moment of him talking about how he couldn't really feel love for his children. Her she didn't say anything, and I thought that was amazing acting. She said everything with her face.
Yeah, and it was one of the very few really honest moments we get from him.
Yeah, we forget how good of an actor John Hamm is.
Yeah,
he's got an amazing screen presence, but he can bring it when he wants to.
Yeah, and that was one of the things we said going in we don't get a lot of from Don, and that's actual honesty and vulnerability. And that's one of the few moments that he does it. He had to be loaded and called out about
finally
it.
Called out for his alcoholism. Finally called out.
Yeah, I mean Megan had to really get in his face and be like, "Look what you're turning into."
Has anybody really called him an alcoholic in the show before?
No.
And even when he was at he ruined the seance for Roger's mother.
Oh,
when he puked.
Yeah.
And even then, nobody was like, "The guy's an alcoholic." Nobody said that.
Right.
And the fact
they called him on it a little bit.
I'm sure they talked about it behind his back, but yeah, not enough. Megan's like, "Is this how you be remembered by your kids as an alcoholic?" Right. And I think that if he doesn't change his ways now, that's what it's going to be.
Oh, I think he first off, I think he is an alcoholic. I don't think
he's a bona fide alcoholic.
Right, and
bona fide as people.
Right, and I don't think that he's done.
No,
spiraling.
No, he's. I think as long as the show is on air, he will be an alcoholic and a sex addict.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.